And here we go. Qualifying is now underway here for the fourth round of the championship. Welcome out to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's TCR World Series. The drivers heading out now for just 10 minutes of qualifying here on the national layout of Donington Park. Drivers out on track. Why don't we take a look and find the drivers who's going to be setting their first lap times. And here we have two very fast drivers out here in the form of Mads Krogsgaard and Eamon Espeir. Mads fastest all week. Nobody was able to touch his fastest lap time over in practice. And, well, now, ahead of him, it's Eamon Espeir. It's the driver who has been winning last week out in a huge event. The Brazilian Grand Prix really going to him, and well, he has proved himself after his two-round hiatus, but now he is back. So we're gonna find out what he can do around here at Donington, and let's see if he is the one that could take pole position as he heads into turn one, braking hard now, wanting to kiss the apex and heading out, accelerating out and onto the downhill sections of Hollywood and then into the old hairpin. Could take pole position. Just doing a mic check, but as he heads into the old hairpin, it looks very good. And then we pass through Starkey's Bridge. Just on the left-hand side, a very old circuit. Donington Park is as old as almost into the 1930s that this track has really been around, but it of course did not look like this, as now Espeir heads into the blind apex, a very tricky part of the circuit to get right, but at the moment Espeir is looking very quick, and now he's just got the final chicane to worry about, so the cars will stick on the left hand side of the circuit and then fly through this final chicane. Very tight through here, so you want to make sure you stay within track limits, and Espeir is going to do a clean job at it. He's going to come across the line now, and with Mads following behind him, it's going to be Mads with a 109.759, but Eamon is going to be over a second and a half down, so he's got some catching up to do in this one. Peter Sabot goes up to second, so 110.806. And there we see the Dutchman of Lucas Smith. He's going down through Hollywood, and so far, well, nothing's good for him on his lap time. He's currently sitting P5, but the driver from Trinidad, Nixon, that's going to be a lap time there, going up to third. And take a look at the livery. An awesome looking Purple Hearts there. Show me your heart. That is honestly probably one of my favorite liveries there on track, but nonetheless, though, let's get back into this qualifying session and really focus on the drivers as we watch now the Dutchman Luca in his first race. He's done a lot of practice sessions throughout the years as Les Mana goes up to second. We've never seen him in racing conditions. Well, he's a feisty driver. He can talk the talk, but let's see if he can walk the walk. Of course, this is only qualifying, and anything and everything can go down here. No matter what position you start in, it's going to be helpful for the main race. But for qualifying, at least, you want to put yourself in the best position possible, as he does so at the moment P3. So still some time to improve, and wants to start finding his way into the 109s, which so far it only belongs to Krogsgaard, as he is almost matching his first sector time. He's just that bit off. We welcome everyone joining into the stream. Good morning, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are around the world. We appreciate you joining us here for this fourth round of the championship. Next week out, we head to the Green Hell. We head to the Nürburgring, but the Nordschleife. So it's an event you do not want to miss. And the drivers are going to be setting themselves up perfectly heading into that one. Final chicane now for Krogsgaard. Wants to navigate it as quick as possible, but stay within track limits, and he has not done so. And he's going to head it straight into the pits to not interfere with the driver behind, Espeir, who's gone down to P8 and still stays there even when he improves. Couple more drivers heading back on track. Quick splash and dash of fuel as Smith now goes up to second and lines himself up on the front row next to Madsen. Well, nobody's been able to touch that first lap time of him. And we'll see if he can improve anywhere. But as you see the sector times light up, let's watch now the Brazilian of Christian Romão. The blue, white, and black Cupra. There's a lot of Cupras, as you see on the leaderboard. The championship drivers have decided that that is their car of choice. Having some trouble here is Layla. Looks like there may be some sort of issues. She's trying to get connected into the session. At the moment, looks good. And trouble for P3 as Lesmana in the gravel. I don't know if he just came out of pit road, but if he did, I think he's just desperately trying to get out the way, not to hamper anybody's lap times. So here comes Nixon now through the double right-hander. Once again, very tricky part of the circuit. And this whole section of the track is really going to be bumper to bumper, following each other throughout this section. And then it's all down to the chicane. Now, it's very tight when it comes to track limits, so the drivers have to be very, very kind through it. So racing is going to be pretty tricky around there if drivers do dare to go through. But as Nixon comes into the pits, we can now watch Layla come across the line, and looks like this could be now the first lap time officially in this qualifying session that she'll be taking down. Mads now. Purple in the first sector. Looks really good. Has a car ahead of him, but it could be something good for his case, because he could catch a bit of slipstream as they head down on the back straight. If I was aiming, I'd put the power down and try to not give him any. Mads has lost a tiny bit of time in the middle sector, is now a half a tenth up, but as he heads into the final chicane, very close to the white lines, exits out to the front straight, nailing it now, racing to the line. It feels like ages, but once he gets across, he's faster with a 109.667. Santos desperately trying to get out the way for the man who's currently sitting on provisional pole. Santos, in fact, he's actually on his outlap as well, so a lot of guys are suffering quite a bit in this one. But nonetheless, though, it's a faster lap time for Krogsgaard. He's got some fancy paint on his car. It was actually done by the one and only Lesmana. He's been doing a lot of deliveries. You can see that are pretty identical. There's no teams in this championship, so as we watch Mads once again, he looks to be closing in on Eamon just ahead. But now as he nails through the double right-handers, he doesn't quite make the first apex, but it's pretty flat out. And you can see him, looks like he's warming up his tires. But as he heads into the final couple of corners, oh, we see Santos just making a mistake there, so not going to be a... So at the moment now, Mads, even though he was purple in the first sector, unfortunately, he decided to back out on that lap. And potentially maybe trying to get himself some sort of space. But here we go, 27.6 to beat, and he's just about quicker in the first sector. Passing by Starkey's Bridge, heading up the hill now into the right-hander. It's pretty tricky in these TCR cars to try to get the nose turned in, but Lucas Smith is faster in the first sector. It's a race between the two drivers. We could have a pole position here on our hands. A battle at least, but here comes Krogsgaard on the back straight, 2 corners to navigate, and he's gone purple in the middle sector. Last chicane to go for him. Let's see what he can do. Oh, he makes a mistake, drops a tire in the grass. It's not only going to hamper this lap time, but the next one too. Lucas Smith on the front straight. Could it be a first time pole position for the rookie? No, it's not. He's 4/10 down. Purple, first sector and second sector. Mads is not going to get an opportunity at one more lap. He backs out. Luke as well is also done now. And checkered flag is out. Drama at the end of this qualifying session. Steinberg takes it to the pits. He cannot improve. P11 of Danny Nasir stays P11. Next up is P9 of Layla. What can she do? Across the line. And stays P9. Now up next, it's P7. Here we go. Nixon through the final chicane. Any time to improve at all? Is there? P6? Yes, so there is improvement. Third row. And up next, who do we have there? Is it any improvement from them? Trying to look for them. It's Tiswanto and goes up to 12th. Decent qualifying from him. Final driver now. Is he on a valid lap time? We're going to find out in a couple moments, depending on when he comes across the line. Christian Romao may look like it could be a valid one. P4 at the moment. Come across. Nothing can be done. Stays P4. It's Mads on pole with a 109.667.